Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is our today's daily problem on LeetCode, and the question is maximize the confusion of an exam. In this question, what it is written, a teacher is writing a test with n true false question, with t denoting true and f denoting false. He want to confuse the student by maximizing the number of consecutive questions with same answer. So how the teacher is going to confuse student? He is going to confuse student by maximizing the number of consecutive question with same answer. Okay, so what are the input with us? You are given a string answer key, where answer key of I is original answer of ith question. So basically we have a answer key with us, in which each index has a character. Okay, and if the character corresponding to the ith index is true or t, the answer will be true, otherwise answer will be false. Okay, so in this way you can see this is our answer key, and what we have to do, we have to perform, you are given k integer. Okay, you are given an integer k, the maximum number of time you can perform the following operation. So we can perform the following operation at max k times. Okay, and what we have to do, in any one operation we can choose we can change answer of any question to t or f. So basically if we, in one operation, what we can do, we can choose any answer and we will change it. So like I have chosen f, or the second index of this answer key, and I can change the answer corresponding to this index. Okay, and after that what we have to do, return the maximum number of consecutive t or f in the answer key after performing at most k times of at most operation at operation at most k times. So basically we have to perform this operation at most k time, and we have to return the maximum number of consecutive t or f for the answer key. So let us have a closer view for this question, and for our first input, this is our closer view. You can see that. So basically what we can do, we for this question input, the value of k is nothing but 2. So I am going to write 2 here. So it is nothing but a value of k. And what does it mean? We have to change our answer 2 times. Okay, so we can change our answer for 2 indexes. And what can we do? We can change answer of this index and this index, and we can write here true and true again here. Okay, so you can see that maximum number of consecutive true is 4. So our answer is going to be 4. Okay, that's what our answer is. So we have to return maximum number of consecutive true or false. We can also do one operation. We can also do, I have replaced false and false here. We can also replace true here. Okay, so we have to perform this operation maximum 2 times. So we can remove this true and we can add f here. So this is also going to be our answer. So you can see that the maximum number of consecutive false here is again 4. So in this way we found our answer for the first input. So let us see for the second input. So this is our second input, and for this second input, what is the value of k? So value of k is nothing but 1. So we can perform this operation at most one time. So what we can do, we can change this true with false, and that's it. We cannot move further, or we cannot perform any more operation, and we can see that the answer corresponding to this part is nothing but 3. So you can see there are 3 consecutive f with us. Okay, so answer can be 3. Also we can do one more operation, another operation, like this was true, and what we can do, we can just remove this t. Okay, and we can add f here. So again the answer in this case is 3. Okay, so or what we can do, or else we can do that we can replace this f, and we will change the value of f to t. So you can see that in this question maximum number of t or f which are in consecutive with each other is 2. So here you can see that we have 2 t which are in consecutive with each other. So for this case our answer is going to be 2, but we need to maximize the number of t or f which are consecutive to each other. So basically our answer will not be 2, it will be 3. Okay, so answer will be 3 because this case is giving us answer 2 and this case is giving us answer 3. So our answer is nothing but 3. So this, in this way you can see that how our answer for the second input is going to be 3. Let us see for third input, and we have value of k is equal to 1. So for third input you can see that this is our third input and we have to perform the operation at most one time. And what we can do, if we replace this f, okay, with t, okay, so we have replaced this f with t and you can see that we have total of 5 t which are consecutive, which are in consecutive with each other. Okay, so our answer for this removal can be 5. Okay, so I am going to write here 5, or we can, what we can do, or else what we can do, I am just writing f here again. Okay, or else what we can do, we can remove this f and instead of it I can write t here, and again you can see that the number of consecutive to t is nothing but 5, and the answer corresponding to both cases is nothing but 5. So basically in this way we have to maximize our number of t or number of f which are in consecutive with each other. So how this question can be solved? So for this question we can use sliding window method, and what will be the condition for this sliding window to increase its size or decrease its size, we will see that. So basically we have some variables with us. Let us say those variable as count t and count f. So basically these two variable are with us, and initially these two variable are 0. Okay, so this is going to count number of t and number of f in our sub array. Okay, so this will count number of t and f in our sub array, so in our sub array or in our window. Okay, so this is the meaning of count t and count f, and what we will do, is if the minimum of count t or count f is less than equal to k. So basically I am going to show that this is our particular window. Okay, and yeah, this is our particular window. Okay, and we can have one operation with us, so we can replace one f here with t, and again we can increase the size of our window. Okay, so whenever the minimum of both t or f, so in this case you can see that the minimum of t and f is nothing but 1, and whenever we have this value less than equal to k, what we can do, we can increase the size of this window. So you can see that initially the count t and count f was 0, and when we our window is of size 1, you can see that count t is nothing but 1. In this, when we increase the value, the count t is going to be 2 and count f will be 0. When we again increase the value, we can see that count t is 2 and count f is 1, and the minimum of both is 1. So in this case what we can do, we can again increase the value and we can find that count t is nothing but 3 and count f is again 1, and again we will increase the value and we can find that count t is 4 and count f is again 1, and basically it was f. Okay, so initially it was f, I was changing that point. Okay, so it was initially f, and further when we increase this window, okay, when we increase this window, you can see that we cannot perform any more operation because we have already performed the operation of changing the answer here. So we cannot perform that operation at this point. Okay, so we cannot perform operation at this index, so that's why our window, our final window will be of size this. Okay, this will be our final window. So the number of consecutive t or f will be 5. Okay, so in this way we can see that when we will increase the window, so I am going to write here condition of increasing the size of window. So if minimum of count t and count f is less than equal to k, then we can increase the size of our window. Otherwise what we will do, we will decrease the size of our window. So you can see that this was our window, current window, and we cannot increase the size of this window because this is our answer. Okay, so the corresponding to this sub array our answer will be 5. So what we have done here, this was our window right now. Okay, so this was our current window, and what we can do, we have increased the size. Okay, and we can see that count t and count f, the minimum of both count t and count f will be 2. So we cannot return this window for our answer. So what we can do, we have to reduce the size of this window. So what we can do, we have to reduce the size of this window. So we will increase the leftmost boundary. Okay, so our new window is nothing but this. Okay, again in this window you can see that minimum of both count t and count f is 2. So what we will do, we will again increase the leftmost boundary. Okay, sorry, we will reduce the leftmost boundary. Okay, so we have to reduce this part and we will go in this direction. Okay, and what we will do, we will again reduce the size. Okay, so our window will be this, and again you can see that minimum of count t and count f is nothing but 2. So what we will do, we will again move forward, we will again move this wall in forward direction, and we can see that the size of window will again increase, and this will be our new window. And in this window what we can see, that the minimum of count t and count f is nothing but 1. So if this condition is valid, what we can do, you can see that this condition is valid in this case, and what we can do here, we can increase the size of window. So we can increase the size of window, so this window will be this. And again you can see that the condition is again satisfied, count t is 3 and count f is 1. So we will again increase the size of window, and in this case you can see that count t is again 4 and count f is again 1. So this can be our answer. Okay, we cannot increase the window further because we have reached the end of this string. So this can be our sub array. Corresponding to this sub array our answer is going to be 5 because the length of this sub array or this window is 5, or our window can be this one also. Okay, so this window can also be our answer. Okay, so you can see that answer corresponding to this window is again 5, and the maximum of both this 5 is nothing but 5. So our final answer is going to be 5. So in this way you have seen how we can use sliding window method here, and let us dive into the code. Let us see how can we code this question. And so for this we will have few variables with us. So let us have variable L and R with us. So int L is equal to 0 and R is equal to 0. So basically what does it mean? L means left boundary of window, and R means right boundary of window. Okay, and initially both are 0. So initially both are 0, that's why I have set it as L is equal to 0 and R is equal to 0. Also I am going to have a variable n, which is nothing but size of this answer key, and our two variables count t and count f. So basically all these variable will be initialized with 0. So this will count t and f respectively. Okay, and what will be our answer? So our final answer will be maxi, and this will be returned as our answer. Okay, so basically we have to maximize it, and initially it is 0. Okay, so what we'll do, let us dive into sliding window. Okay, so what we are going to do, we will have a while loop with us where the rightmost boundary will be less than n. Okay, so while r is less than n, we will make two conditions. The two conditions that I have already told you. The first condition is that of increasing the window when minimum of count t and count f is less than k. So when this condition is there, we will increase the size of window, otherwise we will decrease the size of window. So I will write here, if count t and count f, minimum of count t and count f is less than equal to k, what we will do, we will just increase the value of count t. Okay, if answer key of r is t, otherwise we will increase the value of count f. So you can see that how I have increased the value of count t and count f, and what we'll do, we will again move further. Okay, so we will increase the size of, what we will do, we will increase the size of our window. So I am going to write here that okay, if this condition is valid, we will increase the size of our window. Okay, so in this way you can see that we have increased the size of our window. And again talking about next condition, if the condition is not valid, so what we'll do, if condition is invalid, we will decrease the size and minimize the size, and what we'll do, and we will store the size of previous window and minimize it. Okay, so what we are going to do, if this condition is not valid, what we will do, we will try to, what we'll do, we will store the value of previous window which was satisfying the condition, and what we'll do, we will minimize it. So for this, what we have to do, we can write our maxi, sorry, we have to maximize it, not minimize it. So it was my mistake. So basically we have to maximize it. Okay, so what we have to do, we can write maxi is equal to max of maxi and the size of previous window, and you can see that we have to store the size of previous window. Okay, so the size of previous window, what will it be, it will be nothing but r minus l plus 1. Okay, so this will be the size, sorry, r minus l minus 1, this will be the size of our previous window. So we have taken the size of our previous window and we have maximized it. Okay, and what we'll do, we will just decrease the window, we will decrease the size of our window. So what we are going to do, we have you can see that I have shown here that while we want to decrease the window, so we will increase the value of L and we will move this leftmost boundary forward. So what will be the what we will do here, we will decrease the value of count t or count f with answer of key. Okay, so if our answer of L, answer key of L is t, then we will decrease the value of count t, otherwise we will decrease the value of count f. So I have written here that part also, and again what we will do, we will increase the value of L here. Okay, so you can see that we have run this sliding window here, and when we reach the value of n, the loop will be break. So I am going to write here, when r is equal to n, loop will break. And when loop will break, we have to, so we have to minimize, we have to again check our answer, so we have to again maximize our window. Okay, so for this what we can do, we can see that again, if the minimum of count t and count f is less than or is greater than k, so what is this case? So you can see that again our window is not satisfying the condition, so our window is not valid. Okay, so we will go for previous window. Okay, so what we will do, we will go for previous window, and we will store the size of previous window and maximize it. Okay, so the size of our previous window is nothing but, what is the size of our previous window? It is nothing but r minus l plus l minus 1. So this is our size of previous window, r minus l minus 1. Otherwise what we will store, the condition is valid, the window is satisfying the condition, so we will store current window and maximize the size. Okay, so what we will do, maxi is equal to maxi comma r minus l. So after that we will return our maxi. So let us see whether the code works or not. So there is a kind of typo here. Okay, it is okay, yeah, it is like this. Okay, I don't know what is the error here. Okay, I have, okay, this is the fault. I have done a kind of typo here. Okay, and otherwise there is no typo. So you can see that our test cases are passing, and let us move for our main cases. So you can see that all the main cases are passing. So this was our first approach, binary search. This was our first approach, sliding window, and you can see that how we have increased the size of our window when this condition was valid. So when this condition was valid, we have increased the size of our window, and otherwise we will decrease the size of window and store the answer of valid window. Okay, so I have also shown you how we can check the window is valid or not. So if the current window is valid, then what we will do, we will store the size of this current window, otherwise we will store the size of previous window. So if our current window is not valid, okay, not valid means it is not satisfying the condition, so what we will do, we will store the size of previous window which was satisfying the condition. Otherwise what we will do, we will store the size of our current window, otherwise we will store the size of our current window, and then we will maximize it. Okay, so this was our condition, you can see that. And so I think that this sliding window part is clear for you, and this was up to sliding window. And I will show the code again, that how I have increased the size of window when this condition is valid, and when I have when the condition is not valid, I have decreased the size of window. And again, when we reach the last index of r, so we have again checked that if our window is valid or not, and if it is not valid, we have stored the previous window size, otherwise we have stored the current window size, and then we have written our answer. So this was our first method, and you can see that the time complexity corresponding to this first method is nothing but of order of n. So basically we have used the binary sliding window approach here, so time complexity will be of order of n. So I will write here time complexity, so it will be nothing but order of n. Okay, so you can see that the runtime is 28 millisecond. So let us dive into another approach. We can try this question using binary search also. So if you want to do sliding window, you can do sliding window, and if you don't want to go with binary search, you can leave this video. Otherwise, if you are interested to see the solution for binary search, you can continue watching. So for this, let us clear the code, and again I have to clear the things here. Okay, so first I will clear the things. Okay, so what we can do in binary search, we can say that in binary search what we are going to do, we have the size of sub array is 1, 2, and maximum it is n. So basically what we have with us, the size of this sub array can be from 1 to size of answer key. Okay, so the size of sub array, so the size of sub array can be 1, 2 up to size of answer key. So basically I can show you here that this is our sub array. So the sub array can be of size 1, this can be of size 2, this can be of size 3, and this can be of size up to answer key. So you can see that we can iterate over sub array of all such size, and we'll check whether for a particular sub array of a particular size, the condition of minimum of count t and count f less than k or equal to k is valid or not. If it is valid, then we will return our answer as a true, otherwise we will return our answer as false. So you can see that I am taking the size of window as 3, so I will return right here that window size is nothing but 3, and we will check for this size whether the condition is valid or not. So you can see that count t is nothing but, I will write here, ct is nothing but 2, and cf is nothing but count of f is nothing but 1. So you can see that the condition of minimum of both count is less than equal to our k. So this was our k. So you can see that what was the condition, minimum of count t and count f is less than equal to k. So this condition is valid. So what we will do, we will return answer true. So if this is our case, so what we will do, we will return true. So basically we will see that we can say that for this size we can have our answer. Otherwise you can see that for the size 6, let us say for the size is 6, so for the size 6, what will be our window? So our window will be, you can see that the window will be of this. So for this window, what you can see that the count of t is nothing but it is 4. Okay, so the count of t for this window is nothing but 4, and count of f for this window is nothing but 2, and the minimum of all both count t and count f is nothing but 2, which is greater than k. So our answer is going to be false. So again we will check for all such windows. Okay, so this window is of size 6, we will move this window further. Okay, so we will move this window ahead. So again for this sub-array you can see that count T and count F is 4 and 2 respectively. Again for this window also we will what we can see that the count T and count F is 4 and 2. So whenever this condition is false, what we can see that whenever the condition is false, so what we will do, we will move this, we will check for more sub array of same size, and in case we got our answer true, we will return the answer as true. Otherwise what we will do, if we don't find any sub array, if we don't have any such sub array of that same size who is satisfying this particular condition, so what we will do, we will write our answer as false. Otherwise what we will write our answer as true. So basically in this way we can see that whether we have our answer true or false for particular size of subarray or not. So for size of subarray 6 we can see that our answer is false. Okay, for size 5 we can see that we can have such subarray. So for size 5 you can see that this is a window, and you can see that for this case our answer is valid. So if our answer is valid, we will check for more size and more larger size, and if answer is not valid, we will check for lesser size. Okay, so in this way you can we can solve this question using binary search. So basically what I will do, I will write the indexes L and R as 1 and answer key dot size. So basically what these are the minimum size and maximum size of any sub array. Okay, so these are the minimum maximum size of any sub array, and what we will do, our answer will be nothing but 0. So basically we will initialize our answer with 0, and what we will do, we will go in binary search. So let's dive in binary search, and what we will do, while L is less than equal to R, so what we will do, we will add our mid as L plus R minus L upon 2, and this is the size of our sub array. And what we will do, for this size we will check whether that whether we can have our solution or not. So I will write here, for this size we will check if there is any sub array which will satisfy our condition or not. So basically what is our condition, our condition is nothing but if min of count T and count F should be less than or equal to k. So this is going to be our condition. So I will write here that what is our condition. So I will write here that condition is minimum of count of T and count of F should be less than equal to k. So this is going to be our condition. So I will use boolean function here to check whether for a particular size mid is there any sub array which satisfies this condition or not. So I will write here a boolean function. So bool check, and the parameter which I will pass here is nothing but string answer key and int k, and what else, int mid. So I will check here whether there is an answer corresponding to this size or not. So basically I will write here int, let's have a variable int n. So it is nothing but size of this our answer key, and what we will do, I will have this variable count T which is again 0 and count F which is again 0, and what we will do, I will first go for first mid number. So for first mid numbers, for first mid indices, so what we are going to do, we will find count T and count F. Okay, so I will iterate for the first mid indices. So in this way I using for loop to iterate, And what else, what we will do, we'll just increase the value of count t if answer key of I is t. Otherwise what we will do, we will increase the value of our count f. Okay, so you can see that we have our value count t and count f with us, and we'll check if minimum of count t and count f is less than k, less than or equal to k. What we will do, we will return true in this case, and otherwise we will move our window further. So you can see that what we have done here, if our answer is false, so what we can do, we will just, so in this case our answer is true. So but if in case, let us say we have f here with us, okay, so I am going to write f here just for an example. Okay, so if we have f here with us, so you can see that this window is invalid. So what we can do, we can just move this window further or forward, and for this case we will check. So you can see that again it is not valid. Again we will move the we will move our window forward, and you can see that again it is not valid, and again we will move it further. You can see that it is valid. So for this window, our count t and count f, the meaning of both count t and count f is less than or equal to k. So what we will do, we will move our window forward. So basically our left boundary is nothing but L, and our right boundary is nothing but mid. Okay, and what we will do, while r is less than mid, so basically when we are moving this window, so when we are moving this window in forward way, what we are going to do, we are, let's say this was our initially the position of window was this, and you can see that the condition is not valid here. Okay, so what we are doing in this case, so basically if we are moving this window in forward way, so what we are doing, we are just decreasing the value of count t or count f corresponding to this index. Okay, so this was our index L, and this is currently our index R. So what we are doing, we are decreasing the value of count t and count f corresponding to index L, and we will increase the value of count t and count f corresponding to window R. So if the increase the value of the, if we move this window forward, we are basically doing this thing. Okay, so I will write here again that while r is less than mid, so count t will increase if answer key of r is equal to t, and count f will increase if our answer key of r is f, and again count t will decrease if our answer key of L is equal to t, and again count f will be decreasing if our answer key of L is false. Okay, so in this way we have moved our window in forward way, and again what we will check, if minimum of count t and count f at any point, if this count t and count f, the minimum value of count t and count f is less than equal to k, what we will do, we will just return the value as true. Otherwise we will return our value as false. Okay, so this is our boolean function which will check whether for a particular size mid, so this is our particular size mid, whether there is a subarray of this size which is satisfying the condition of minimum of count to and count f is less than equal to k or not. So if this condition is satisfying at any subarray of a particular size mid, we will return our answer as true. Otherwise we will return our answer as false. So this was our condition, and what we'll do, we will check for answer key and for a particular size mid, if the condition is satisfying, what we will do, we will just increase the value of L. First we will store the value of our mid Okay, so we will write answer is equal to mid, and what we will do, we will increase the size of sub array. So L is nothing but mid plus 1. Otherwise what we will do, R is equal to mid minus 1. So we will reduce. So if condition is valid, what we are going to do, so we will store our answer and increase the size of window. Okay, so and if it is not valid, so what we will do, we will decrease the size of window. So after this thing, what we will do, we will return our final answer. So let us check whether the code is working properly or not. There is some kind of error here. I don't know what kind of error this is. So basically I am going to check what is the error here, and I think what is the error, what will be the error. Okay, here I have written answer key dot size and county countf here also. If I is county, okay, this part is also true, this part is again true, and we will have L is equal to 0, R is equal to mid, and R minus minus tk. Okay, this part is also true. Okay, and this is also true. I'm not able to find the correct way, what I am doing the mistake. So let us check what is the mistake. I will first see what is the mistake. Okay, so basically R is equal to mid minus 1, and this is also true, and mid is equal to L plus R minus 1. Okay, this part is also again true. So just give me a second, I will figure out what is the error here. And just a second, I am just checking our error here. So county will be F, and this part is again true. I don't think so why it is not working. So let us see what is our error. So I have written here, this part is again true, this part is again correct, and this part is again correct, and answer key of T, and this part is again true, and it is also correct. Okay, and while R is less than, so this was our mistake. So we have to put R is less than N here. So I think that we will get our answer true here. So this was our mistake, I have figured out our mistake. So this is our mistake, and you can see that. Okay, I don't know why time limit is exceeding. So basically this was because of all these comments. So I am going to remove these comments for a while, and so I will remove these comments here. I don't know why it is showing TLE because of these comments. Okay, so I don't think so it will show TLE now. Okay, it is again showing TLE. I don't know why it is showing TLE. Again, let us see what is the error with us. Okay, we have to increase the value of, okay, it was not a fault of all those comments, it was basically fault of this part. So basically what we have to do, we have to increase, we have to move the window forward. So we have to write L plus plus and R plus plus. So this was the mistake here. So I don't think so the mistake, it will not work. Okay, so it is working. So let us see for more cases. So yeah, all cases are passing. So there was a type of error. One error was here, I have written R is less than mid, and I have forgot to mention this part. So this should be mentioned there, otherwise how window will move forward. So you can see that I have created a window of a particular size mid, and for this particular size mid I am going to check whether there is a subarray in our answer key, subarray or substring, you can say substring, where count of t is or count of f, the minimum of both, is less than k or not, less than or equal to k or not. So if this condition is valid, we will return true, otherwise we will return false. And if the condition is valid, what we will do, we will store our answer as mid and we will move for more size, otherwise we will reduce the size of our subarray. And so you can see that the runtime of this is 74, and this is having runtime 28. So basically time complexity for this part is, I will write here, time complexity is nothing but order of n log n. So this is of time complexity order of n log n, and due to this reason the time complexity is more, that's why runtime for the binary search is also more. So I have shown you both the approaches. In the sliding window approaches, I have shown that when we will increase the size of the window, so condition will be exactly same. This is our condition, minimum of count 2 and count f less than equal to k, and if this was our condition, and if the condition is valid, we will increase the size of our window, otherwise we will decrease the size of a window. So basically we have to do this thing only, we have to increase or decrease the size of window, and we can do this part, this thing by two methods. This was by sliding window method and this was by binary search method. So I hope you understood both the method, and if you have any kind of doubt, you can ask me in comment section. I know there was some kind of error here and here also, which took which make the video very long. So yeah, I hope you will ignore all those error and you can see the correct method and the method that I have discussed in the video, and I hope you will understand the code that I have written, and I think I have explained both the method and the code for both the method very properly, and now you will be able to solve this question. And again, if you like my solution, you can like my video also, you can subscribe my channel for all such videos, and if you have any kind of doubt, you can ask me in your comment section, and the solution will be provided in your description as a link. Okay, so thank you.